Good morning, everyone. Yes, welcome. Well, before we get started, we're going to hear from one of our vendors. Guys, if you know any vendors out there that want to be on our show, or
And you all do.
you all know them vendors, send them our way. If you're a vendor and you want to be on our show and you want to be a sponsor,
Oh, I think you say a star on their show.
yeah, just let us know. Anyway, let's hear from one of our vendor sponsors. Let's hear from Yvonne today.
Hi, my name is Yvonne Hunter and I'm with Platinum Home Warranty. If you've not heard of us, we're known for our in-house technicians and high customer service reviews. So check us out on our Facebook page or on our website to learn more about pricing and coverages.
All right. Good morning, everyone. You know, in life, we face a lot of adversities, but the greatest adversity always comes in here,
In your noggin.
in your noggin. It's one of the reasons why we do this show, and it's named MidWeek MindFreak. Everything has to do with the mind, and there's enemies that live in our mind all day long. All day long, we all fight them. They are so common that sometimes we don't even recognize that they're enemies. They just inhabit, like they're our good friends, just taking up space in there. But today on MidWeek MindFreak, we're going to go over the 5 enemies that may be crushing your spirit.
Chuck and Angela run multiple million-dollar companies. They are members of Riz Media's Billionaire Club, have coached and mentored thousands of agents, and are international speakers. They say by radically changing your mindset, not only can you change your outlook on life, but affect the actual results you obtain. Welcome to MidWeek MindFreak.
I don't know what you're laughing about over here.
I don't know.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, guys, today's a great day. December 15th for us, but it's a special day because it's our anniversary. It's kind of funny because, we're kissing. So this is a rated G
That
show.
was a G kiss.
Oh, G. Okay. Anyway, just a little tidbit about us. We don't keep track of like special dates and stuff for the most part. And people have to remind us because every day is like my anniversary. When you're married to your best friend and beautiful wife, it's life and life's awesome. But really, it's 19 years.
I know. My mother had to remind us this morning that it was our anniversary.
It's actually crazy. 19 years, never a day apart. And people always ask, how do you do that? Well, we do it because it's Christ-centered, When you've got the vertical, the horizontal works out. But, it's also that we live our life and with what we share with you guys on MidWeek MindFreak, it is all about the mind. It's about what takes place up here. How do you deal with it? And that's why we share. If it's your first time tuning in, you're going to be in for a treat. If you tune in all the time, you know how awesome this is. But also share it. If you think there's people that their minds are jacked up or whatever, and they think they can get something out of it, please send them our way. Introduce them to the show. Anyway, let's get started with, people have crushed spirits, especially this day and age we live in. Your spirit is just crushed. You're walking around, you're not happy. You don't understand why. You don't understand what's going on in your head that is making you feel that way. Because like I said, these things that live in our brain sometimes are so common that we just accept it as that's normal. It's not normal. It's toxic. It's cancerous. And we're going to talk about these 5 things that could be crushing your spirit and how to get rid of them and what to do with it. So would you like to start off, my lovely wife?
I would, but Laura, that's so awesome. 34 years on December 19th.
Wow. Wow, 34
Will we
years.
live that long?
Gosh, and if that's a recent picture of you, what did you do? Get married when
Oh,
you
you're
were
12?
10?
Okay. Thank you for all the well wishes, you guys.
Yeah,
Okay.
we appreciate it. Thank you.
So
Oh,
we're going to
Stephanie's
be,
tuning in.
that's good. So,
Yes, they just got married
yeah,
too.
you guys
So
need to do a podcast too, Stephanie.
yeah, they
All
will.
right.
They said it. I
Okay.
just like to recognize my buddy David and
No. Every
Tracy.
time you say David, I think of cherub.
Baby, no,
Baby chub.
we can't do baby
No.
cherub.
Okay, let's get started. So the first thing that I want to talk about that absolutely crushes people's spirit is their perspective on. It's possible. It is possible, Laura, but unlikely. So it is the way you think about failure. Some of you have this visceral reaction to failure, and what I mean by visceral is like you have it draws out feelings in you it's not logical. It aren't necessarily logical. Warning, my husband's just about to make fun of me. So when I was growing up, I was really, really, really serious about getting good grades. I told you.
I'm not laughing because you're serious about getting good grades.
I like literally wrapped up my identity in getting good grades. So when I was in college and I got my first C, I literally thought I was a massive failure. And it's so ridiculous. I'm embarrassed that something so stupid caused me to question myself.
When I got a C, I thought I was a genius.
It's a ridiculous perspective. Failure, I'm not saying that you're not allowed to be disappointed when things don't go the way that you want them to go. That's normal and human. But if you're crippled by the thought of failure, so crippled that you won't take risks, that you have an illogical response.
I'm with you, David.
I know, it's so true, you guys. It really is.
I actually tell my kids, just friggin'
pass, right? But
get out of school already.
But literally, if you're
there
we are. Literally, if failure causes that visceral, illogical reaction in you, or you're so afraid to fail that you don't even take any risks, that's crushing your spirit. Some of my greatest gifts, my life's greatest gifts, have come from failure. This man right here, my best friend, right, from failure of a first marriage. Thank God, right? And at the time it didn't feel great, but lots of great things in our life have come from failure. And so if you have the right perspective on failure, instead of it crushing your spirit, it actually can make you grateful, and it can make you happy, that especially when you take risks and you fail sometimes, and then you take risks and then you feel that elated feeling of success, it's totally worth it. So get a right perspective on failure.
Yeah, and don't look at everything failure. I know you say, thank God your first marriage failed. I mean, if my first marriage didn't fail, and it was obviously 100% on me, I wouldn't have met you. But there are also positive things that come out of failures. My two kids,
of course,
and
yes.
and she's a great mom to them.
She is. She's way better than I am.
To our other son now, the other mother from whatever. Anyway,
from the brother.
Yes. So anyway, the next one is dependency. We live in a society full of dependent people. It's just mind blowing, and you got to catch yourself. So we're dependent on our parents, our spouses, our teachers, employers, landlords, health insurance providers, the government. Like the list goes on. Now look, I don't mean that you can't be in conjunction. So like when I say spouses, we're not dependent on each other, but the bond that we have functions so well. I'm talking about people that
unhealthy dependency.
Unhealthy dependency. And guys, you got to check yourself, and really, like, some of the big things is like the government and society. There are a lot of people out there dependent on the government or healthcare providers or whatever it looks like. Now I might get some slack for this.
Unnecessarily dependent is what you're talking about.
Yeah, like there are people that don't try because they remain dependent. It's those type of people. There's so many opportunities out there that you could change your life and not be dependent. Or there's people that are so crippled because they're dependent on who's even in government. You know, either Democrat or Republican. Here's my response: they all suck.
There's a healthy response right there.
Yeah. Well, my point is you stop getting so caught up with, well, if this one was in there or this one was in there,
things
then
would be
then
all
what
better.
things would change for
Yeah.
you. That's what I'm talking about. Dependent on outcomes of certain things. Dependency is the death of instinct, because we start to forget, how God created us and how we're supposed to be, and getting that gut instinct and acting on it. I really believe in gut instinct. I believe it's something God has given it.
Well,
So
speaking of God, he's the only one you should be dependent on.
yeah, it never changes.
Right.
Has never changed. And it's ultimately, dependency is ultimately why we live in such a sick, stressed out, illiterate society, because we're always putting our faith and hope in someone else, and even in friendship. Don't be dependent on a friendship, guys. They come and go, and these are things that we need to think about, because human nature is to avoid difficulty and discomfort. So that's why we gravitate towards being dependent. You got to get out of that. If you're not uncomfortable, you're not growing. So these are the things to think about, guys. Use your brain. What did that girl say to us last night? She used a great word. Something.
I know, I can't think of it, but
Can't think of the word. It was fantastic.
It was
About how
just like my crab cake.
we don't use our minds to think through things. So anyway, growth requires discomfort. Stop being so damn dependent.
So the next one is the concept of entitlement, the perception that you deserve something good or you deserve a privilege. I don't like it when anyone says to us, "Oh gosh, you guys totally deserve it." Like, hey, we go on vacation, like, you guys totally deserve that break. You deserve it. You know, the Bible says we deserve wrath.
That's some good.
Yeah, nothing. We're full of sin. We're no one's good, not one. We don't deserve anything good. It's like so when you walk around, it's like entitled. It fosters ungratefulness. So we have to fight against entitlement. Everyone, especially here in the United States, because we're so used to get privilege. If we aren't careful, we'll start to believe that we're entitled. Just look around. It's full of entitlement. We're dripping with entitlement, and it's ugly. So fill your mind, to fight against that. You fill your mind with gratitude and things that you're grateful for.
And we all get caught up in that. Look, we're not saying you're going to rid your mind of these things we're talking about. We're saying be aware of it.
Yeah, be aware that when it happens, so that you can eradicate that, because that'll crush your spirit. That's the whole point of today, is don't let things crush your spirit.
Yeah. Next one is stress. That's huge. Stress. I look at that as, picture that in your head as the serial killer in your mind. It's that can never be caught. Look, you're never going to completely get rid of stress, but it's almost always unnecessary. Almost, even just this morning, I looked at my day and I was looking at how filled it was. I'm thinking of these different things, and the first thing I said to you is, what? I'm grumpy now because I just looked at my calendar and I'm stressed out. And you said, well, we could do this, this, and this. And I'm like, oh, that's a viable answer. And then I got unstressed. But a lot of us don't. We just let that stress build up instead of looking how you could deal with it.
It's all about perspective today, actually, the way you look at things, the way you think about things.
Oh, yeah. Our knowledge and perception of something, which is called awareness, aware, is unique to each of us. So the way we look at things, the way we act on things, the way we judge things is all unique to each one of us. We all have our own minds and the way we deal with it. So what stress does for each of us could be different. It's all based on perception and how you look at it. So what is perception? So perception is based on a few things. It's based on your experience in life, past, what other people say, and facts. That's really, in a nutshell, what you base your perception on, and it's what makes you stressed out. But as I was processing this, I mean, think about this for a second. I think most of our stress comes from not based off of experiences and not based off of facts. I believe we're living in such an information overload society that everything we're basing things off of are based off of what other people say. I mean, think about that. Everybody's jockeying for time in your brain,
Mhm.
whether it be social media, whether it be news, whether it be just having a conversation with someone else who wants to base their opinions. And as I was really thinking about that, how much stuff are we being stressed out about that we don't even know if it's even real or
True.
not?
Yeah.
And here's the scary part. And I've been catching myself. It doesn't matter left or right, whatever side you're on. I'm now literally saying, is what I just read, is it facts?
Yeah.
Or is it an opinion?
Hard to
Or
discern.
very hard. You can't even look at a picture anymore. Never mind a picture, a video. I mean, I remember life. Somebody had said to me, this is how stupid, growing up when I was in my early 20s. Somebody says, I'm going to deny everything unless they actually have a picture of me doing that. But now
Now you can't even trust the pictures.
you can create a picture of something that is a lie. And then you used to say, okay, it's a picture, show me some video. Now you can actually create videos that are lies.
Mhm.
We live in a world full of lies, right down to magazines. You go, is that picture of that model or that actor, is it photoshopped?
We're not photoshopped right now.
Thank God. That would be photoshopped. So anyway, what is perception based on? And we want to know why we live in such a stressed out world. I don't know the statistics, and we've heard people talk about how the suicide rate in kids
It's through the roof.
is through the roof.
Mhm.
And it's all based off of stress, and all that is based off of perception
Mhm.
of what they think is reality. And people can't live up to this stuff. Gosh, it's such a downward spiral. It's actually sad. So anyway, guys, understand this. Most of the stuff you're stressed out about that you think's going to happen, or this or that, is actually unfounded. Right?
So yeah, and so the last one I want to go over is the way that you think about loss. And I'm not talking about like human loss. Like of course you're going to grieve when you lose a loved one, or you're going to even grieve or have an emotional response if you lose something that you enjoy, like a great job or, whatever. But that's normal. That's fine. But I'm talking about maybe a deep sense of loss irrationally, or if you overreact to loss. It comes from this false idea that you actually own something, or that we're in control. Here's a radical thought. What if you don't actually own anything? We had an old friend from long ago. He used to pull out his checkbook, point to his name on the top of the check, and laugh. He thought it was absolutely ridiculous to think that we owned anything. His opinion, and I agree with this, is everything belongs to God. Everything belongs to God. He just lets us handle some of the stuff sometimes, right? So if you can radically wrap your mind around that, you won't experience irrational loss. You won't lose your mind when you can't find your yoga pants. Inside joke. I actually lost my yoga pants a long time ago. But you won't have this irrational response to loss if you have a healthy perspective on what you do and don't own, or what you do and don't control. Because having a radical overreaction to loss is also absolutely crushing.
Yeah. So to wrap it up, I want to finish it up. I want to put a little bow on this baby here. To fight these enemies in your mind, you need to expand your awareness almost instantly. And how do you expand your awareness? I think there's two important ways. One is through experience, going through life. But that obviously takes time. The other one is learning. No, I'm not saying there go jump on the news or anything, but read books, read
Like the
past
Bible.
books. Yeah, the Bible's
Yeah, that'll relieve some stress.
a great one, because you find hope through God and His promises that are always there, but also just people in the past that might have gone through situations like you. You know what I always love to hear famous people, successful people, and their stories of where they came from. Like you know, ones like I think J.R. Tolkien, how many times he was rejected before his book got accepted, and the list goes on and on and on and on. And when you read those stories, it gives you hope and encouragement, and it could relate to maybe a situation that you're in that gets you through these.
I kind of think that author's
things.
a woman. I don't think it's a guy.
Did I say a guy?
You did. I kind of think it's a woman. Does anyone know?
You might be right. I think
You just said JR, like
whatever.
Yeah.
It was
an example.
an example. There you go. It was an example. But anyway, so really get your mind focused and don't let it wander, and don't be around. We always say this: negative people that will always gossip and bring you down and blah blah blah. So even changing your circle of friends, your job, trying a new hobby. Some people even go, I'm going to move to a new city. Where I'm at is like dead end and toxic, and you just move on. So anyway, um, change your experiences, your experiences, your perceptions, your preferences, your beliefs, your hardships. Let's change the way we look at them, because those are your greatest enemies, but they can also be your greatest friends.
I was trying to see my phone, but I can't see it.
Oh, don't have everything on. Anyway, guys, hey, we're also nominated for the top 125 most influential people by Success Magazine. We would love for you to vote for us. If you don't know where to vote, reach out to us. I'll shoot you an email.
Or you can go on my Instagram on my milkshake. It's the first thing you touch.
Milkshake. Every time I hear you say milkshake,
You get hungry?
No, I just think of a milkshake.
Oh, all you people know what milkshake
Anyway,
is.
yes.
My bio.
Thank you for our anniversary wishes.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Where's the link? Somebody says, Kathy asked where the link was.
Go to my bio on Instagram, click milkshake, it's there.
Or go to our Facebook. You'll find it in one of our posts. Guys, we'd love for you to vote for us. We appreciate you guys. Please share this with other people that may need to hear about it. And
free their minds.
Thank you guys. God bless you guys. Have a great, great day.